All right, it's 7 o'clock. So we'll call the October meeting of the West Lakeland Town Board to order. Town Board meeting. We're holding it a couple days before October because of scheduling conflicts, but this is our October monthly meeting. First item on the agenda is our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First items on the agenda are public hearings. And the first public hearing we have this evening is a request for an interim use permit for a Class 4 home occupation by Ms. Jane Grant Aubin. And if you would care to step up to the podium and present your request, it'd be appreciated.
Yes, good evening. So I'm Jane Grant Abbon, and I would like to use the building that's next to our home for a business. I've had a business there before, but this is slightly differently than it was in the past. So I do 3 different healing modalities. I do a one-to-one and hands-on gentle touch healing modality with the central nervous system. I do a prayerful somatic movement class once a week on a Saturday morning for small groups of people. And I do therapeutic art classes also for small groups of people.
Okay, and let's see, your application indicates that, why don't you talk a little bit about the number of visitors you expect to have per day and whether off-street parking is provided for you?
Yes, we have off-street parking down our driveway, as marked by the map that I submitted. It's how many people per day? That's a little bit hard to say right now because the one-to-one or one-to-two hands-on healing modality I've only just got certified in, so that's a part of the business that I'll be building. But if it took off, I'm thinking there would be no more than 8 people per day, and that would be max.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that presentation. Now, I think we probably have some review that's been done by the Planning Commission. Is there somebody here from the Planning Commission to comment on that? And then we will, of course, hear a commentary from the public after we hear from the Planning Commission on the proposal. Anybody here from the Planning Commission would like to speak to it?
This was August.
Yes.
August Planning Commission meeting. Yeah, and she gave us a presentation. We talked through the application, and we determined that this is a Class 4 business because of the number of customers that might be at your place each day or at any time. And it appears to the Planning Commission that's not an extremely disruptive business to have in a home. It's similar to maybe giving music lessons or things like that. So we unanimously recommended to move forward with the application and the public hearing and any other considerations within the neighborhood here for the interim home business occupation. Interim home occupation business use permit. Any questions for the Planning Commission?
I don't have any. Do you have any, John? Any questions? Okay. Okay, well, thank you very much for that input. Appreciate it. Now it's appropriate for members of the public, if anyone is here who would like to speak to the request for the interim use permit. Be good. You can step forward. Would you? Yeah. Could you step forward to the podium and state your name and address for the record?
Good evening. My name is Sylvia Zen. I live at 1495 Mill Avenue Court North in Lake Elmo. Just by way of background, my husband and I built our home here 29 years ago to be in a residential community, and we relied on the ordinances published by West Lakeland that prioritizes the integrity of a residential community. My concern when I saw Jane's application was the Class 4 designation, because the permit process authorized by the township envisions that it can be broadened and can create uses of the residential property that appears to be greatly extended from what Jane has applied for. So I do want to say that Jane and I have spoken, and I have looked at her application, and in her application, she has applied for a permit which would have no increased noise. Number 8, no workers would be entering the property for the purpose of the business. Number 9, there would be no business trips and no business traffic. Number 10, there'd be no signage. And number 11, there would be no business equipment used or stored. In speaking with Jane, she has also assured me that it's not her intention to modify or expand that permit, that she would stay within the confines of her application. And my concern, and I guess my request to the board is, if a Class 4 permit is issued, can we be assured that it would be within the confines of Jane's application and would not be extended for other industrial or commercial uses that could be foreseen under a Class 4 permit? That's my really only concern. I don't object to Jane's application, but if it was broader than that, I would want to come back and visit that with you.
Okay, thanks. Council, I think the proposed resolution that your firm drafted may address that, and I'm not sure because I don't have the whole thing memorized here, but does the proposed resolution address the question of whether the nature of the business can be expanded upon without further review and public hearing and so forth by the board?
Thank you. Yes, the draft resolution includes a provision that we have in most conditional use permits or interim use permits, that any amendment to the terms of that resolution, to the terms of that permit, has to be treated as basically a new permit, and has to go through this whole process to amend it. So yeah, there's always the possibility of amending the permit, but it wouldn't change the use of what it is. It might change some parts of it, but it would have to go through this process, and you would have the option, and everybody else would have the option to speak to that.
So the permit would be issued premised on the application for the permit, and if the use was going to be broader, there would be a new application process.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate your time.
And I may correct also, counsel, that the sort of the parameters surrounding the permit are limited by the language that's contained in the resolution that we pass?
Yes.
Okay.
Excuse me, and there is also a copy of that on the back counter.
Yep,
If you'd
I
like to
saw
review
that.
it. Okay.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you for your comments. Appreciate it. Anyone else have any comment or question? All right. So hearing none, I will close the public hearing. And I think we may as well launch into a discussion and approval or disapproval of the permit application. So I'll move that we adopt a resolution approving this interim use permit application. Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Okay, any discussion? I just have a couple of comments to make. One, I think part of our resolution approving this is going to require that the applicant abides by all federal, state, and local rules, regulations, limitations, licensure requirements, etc. And so that'll be a condition of the permit and the continued operation of this. Because it's above my pay scale to know what kind of licensure you need for this, but there may be some, and whatever that is, you'd have to make sure that you have complied with those requirements. And the other item that I'll call your attention to is that the permit is going to envision and restrict this use to, there has to be off-street parking provided at all times. So you can't have parking on the street for the various customers and so forth. Those are the only two comments I really have. Anything else that you would like to add?
Maybe draw this, this hasn't happened for a long time, but we do have church activities occasionally at our house, where if there's an overflow of parking, that would be the only time that I would foresee, and then that wouldn't be our business. So just in case there was ever a time where neighbours were concerned because, oh, they've got on-street parking, that would not be a business activity that I'd be doing.
That is be a personal
That
gathering
would just be a
or
person, and we
family
don't have,
gathering or
our
something.
kids are grown, so we don't have graduation parties or anything.
Sure.
They'd be the only times I would see as needing.
No business-related
Off-street.
on-street parking.
No.
Right, okay. Okay, very good. Any further discussion?
Not discussion, just a comment.
Sure.
How the township has changed, thank you. How the township has changed. My father had a business. There is no permits, no hearings, no nothing. And he'd have about 2,000 to 5,000 customers a day. There was never one complaint, and the people enjoyed it. Times have changed too much.
Yeah, I mean, along those lines, when I was a youngster here in the township, both of the roads that went past our house were dirt roads. There was no speed limit posted, but nobody went too fast because you might hit a tractor or a cow or something, I mean, yeah, things have changed, but, it's been quite a few years since things were that way. All right, so all those in favor then of approving the resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed no. Okay, so the resolution carries, so
Okay, thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item would be a public hearing on the application by All Energy Solar on behalf of Andrea and Aaron White. They're requesting a conditional use permit for the construction of a ground mount solar energy system at 1277 Old Ridge Avenue North. And if somebody wants to step to the podium to address that proposal, appreciate it. Please state your name for the record and your
Andrea White.
affiliation.
Andrea White, and this is my residence that we're applying for.
Okay.
So we are applying for the ground mount solar array. Unfortunately, with the pitch of our roof and like the facing of our house, having it on the roof was not feasible in order to have any sort of energy efficiency with capturing the energy. So we opted for, and I know you can't tell by the picture, but there's a very steep drop off behind our house. So like pretty much between there and where you see the solar array is just a hill. So that's really one of the closest like flat points that we could really do it. That would be able to capture enough sun without having to remove too many trees. We have done some clearing to be able to make room for it, but it was just pretty much buckthorn that we've gotten rid of. We have spoken with the neighbors that are directly behind us that could potentially see. One of them is here tonight. The other one said that they didn't care, and I'm guessing since they didn't come, they were abstaining. Was their vote of yes, but we did speak with both of them. And it is a larger amount because we are looking to, or a larger array because we are looking to replace our annual use. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have any questions.
So the, let's see, the neighbor, you say the neighbor behind us, is that to the east or the north or the south?
South.
Neighbor to the south. Okay, oh yes, he spoke to them, you say they had no objection.
One of the houses had no objection. However, the other one would like us to plant some trees, and I did email them like what tree, some fast-growing pines that we were looking to plant along where we currently, a little bit further down where we currently have a line of pines. But I mean, obviously they'll be able to see it for maybe the first summer or two a little bit. But from their bedroom window, because they let me see the view that they had, you'll be able to see like the very corner of the array. However, for the most part, once those trees grow a little bit, then it will be pretty well obscured.
Okay, and I think somebody spoke to this maybe last month's meeting, maybe it was your contractor. And I thought they mentioned that vegetative screening would be provided, and that's your plan, right? To provide vegetative screening.
Yeah, yes, for the neighbors that that mine, the other ones that are they're directly to the south of us, really. They have a greenhouse that if they're at, they can kind of see it, but it didn't bother them at all, so.
Okay. Then, am I correct, you would not object to a requirement for vegetative screening of this array?
No, no.
Because I think that sounds like your plan, but I just want to be clear that that's something you're able and willing to do.
Yes, yep, yes, yeah.
All right, I have no further questions of you at this time, but I assume that the planning commission, or do you have any questions right now? Planning commission, maybe we should hear from the planning commission on the recommendation.
Sure. Hi again. Jeff Weberg from All Energy Solar came to the planning commission meeting in August. We reviewed this application. They always do a very nice job of their installation drawings, site plan. They're within the guidance of the ordinance. They meet the setback requirements, the constraints of height. And it is pretty well screened. I mean, it's a pretty wooded area here. So we talked through it, and the planning commission is in support of this, recommending approval. Questions?
Do you have any questions, Mark? Thank you, Mark.
Yep, thanks.
Okay. Well, at this point, it'd be appropriate for the public to, if there's any public comment, and you would like to have a word, say a word, please feel free. Step up to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Yeah, my name is Doug Dibbing. We live at 14640 10th Street Circle North. Do I talk to all you about that long name on that street? Because it drives us crazy. But anyway, we have no problem. We want them to enjoy their property and everything else. As she had mentioned, we just wanted to make sure there's some vegetation, trees and stuff to kind of block the view. We didn't want to kind of look at it too. So just really wanted that on the record. If you said there's some requirement for that I don't know how you plan it, that would be fantastic. But otherwise, we have no complaints.
10th Street Circle North, is that new street? that
Yes.
Goes up where
Yeah,
Schmelzer's used to be? Okay.
I'm not really sure.
You know what that is?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so your main concern is vegetative screening should be.
We just don't want to see it if we don't, to the degree that we don't have to, is all. But that's it. But like I said, they agreed to do it. It sounds like that could be part of a condition, which would be fantastic. So.
So are you guys just to the south back?
Yes.
That the swimming pool there?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so it's right up on Hemlock.
Yeah. So we can see it at different vantage points. You can see where they're doing it.
South side.
Or maybe on
It's
the
north
east
of
side?
us.
North of you, but it's the south side.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And we had told them too, if there's any, if they ever need to come over and look and, make sure, that would be fantastic, so.
Okay, thank you for your comment. Appreciate it. Any other public comment? Yes.
Hello, my name is Dan Dreyer. I'm at 1379 Old Ridge Avenue. I'm just commenting in support of it. I believe that a part of this will result in Xcel Energy improving some of their infrastructure in the area, which is important to me. I do also support our neighbors who are investing in renewable energy. That's important to me. I don't know if this project includes any type of battery, but we've all seen a lot of disruption from power outages and things, so I support anyone that's pursuing that solar option. And ultimately also, we have neighbors who have made choices on their property with trimming trees or changing aesthetics and things, and ultimately I sort of just feel like if it's within code and within reason, people should be free to do what they want with their property. So that would be my comment on it in support.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And I knew some dryers up there on the hill. You must be somebody's
I'm
son or
yes,
grandson.
grandson. Yep. So my grandparents built the house in the 60s, and then we bought it from them after my grandfather passed away 7-8 years ago.
Very nice.
Yep.
Okay. It's very nice. Well, thank you for your comment.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Anybody else with any public comment on this question? Yes, sir. Please step to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Tim Peckman. I live at 1227 Old Ridge Avenue. Neighbor on the other side. And I just probably would echo what he just said, because we deal with a lot of power outages all the time. Like so far this year, I think we've lost power and we'd had to invest in a generator and everything. So I fully support anybody that wants to try to go solar where they can, as long as it's, you know, any visual effects are mitigated. I think it's great. We'd probably like to do it at some point if we got the money. So just in support of it as a neighbor up there on the hill.
All right. Thank you for that comment. Appreciate it. Any other public comment for the request? All right, hearing none, I will close the public hearing, and I will move to adopt. We have a resolution on that? Yep. Is that the one you just gave us?
Yeah, Troy just sent it.
Oh, it's right here, yeah. It's kind of a last minute edition, okay. So, all right, so it's, looks like resolution number R 2025-22, approving this ground mount solar installation, but with one amendment, and I don't know if that means you have to type something up or something, but the amendment I would propose to this is under screening. Under screening, it's really not clear that the applicant will provide and maintain vegetative screening, which is what we've been discussing here. And I do think that should be a condition of the approval of the conditional use permit. Right now, the screening section talks about that the posts will be painted black to match the black of the solar panel. But I think beyond that, we should probably, unless it's already in there and I missed it, Council, you can correct me if I'm wrong. What is it? E. Is screened by vegetation. You know that describes the current situation, but I think I would prefer to make that a condition of the permit, so that vegetative screening will be provided and maintained. Today it's there, but tomorrow, if there's a clear cut, it won't be there anymore. So I would just like to have that be part of the resolution. So do you have a comment, Council?
Yeah, I would just ask for a little more specifics on where that screening requirement's gonna be. Is it that kind of spot there, where there's a little bit of opening on facing that property to the south?
That is where we're planning on, because they pointed out specifically the tree that once the leaves kind of go away in the winter, that they'll have a clearer shot. So we plan to continue. There's a row of pines pretty much right along the yellow line, and we just plan to continue that line so that it obscures their view of the panels.
Yeah, because there's a lot of trees along the rest of that area, so.
Yes, and actually everything, you can see like the bald spot right now, which is where we would be putting trees. And then to the right, there's also, that's just all dead trees. And so right now it is obscuring it. And in the future, we do plan to take it down and replace it with hopefully apple trees at some point. So yeah, we do plan to, I mean, and yeah, as long as it's in the things is fine, but that's the plan anyway, so.
So I'm wondering if I could just say vegetative screening to screen the view of the thing from neighbors. Because I mean, yeah, right now it is very wooded, heavily wooded. But as I said a minute ago, somebody could decide to cut all those trees, and then it would be visible from other neighbors who aren't perhaps aware of it now because of all the trees that currently exist. I don't know if there's a neighbor. Is there a neighbor to the north, or is there no? Is that just vacant or something, or is there a neighbor up there? Looks like there might be.
There is, and I believe they came. Didn't they come and talk to us? To talk to you? Sorry.
Yeah.
There is a neighbor right to the north, but yeah, they can't see anything. There's quite a lot of very heavy woods between us with no intention. There's the neighbor directly to the east of us did come up and they spoke with us they're kind of excited, or they're like, what's going on back
Yeah,
there?
sure.
And so, but yeah, they can see it from their property. They're probably the closest to it.
Right.
Um,
But I'm just saying, if we have a condition that says that there'll be vegetative screening to screen the view of this from neighbors, generally, there's already vegetative screening, as you point out, to the north and to the east. The only vegetative screening you're planning to really need to add is to the south, which is fine.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, let's agree that we're gonna maintain vegetative screening and not
Oh,
cut
yeah.
it down or remove it.
Yeah, there's, really no intention on removing anything. We do want to remove some trees in the future, but really kind of along that blue line between our house and the array, so nothing around, nothing that surrounds the panels themselves.
Sure.
Uh,
Okay. Well, so anyway, back to my motion. I would move that we approve the conditional use permit, and that we just add the language to the vegetative screening provision that says that vegetative screening will be maintained to shield the insulation from the view of neighbors. So that's my motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded, okay. Any discussion? You have anything to say about that, Joe?
Nope.
Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed no? Okay, so that passes. So with that addition, that change to the resolution, that'll be approved then. You can go ahead and build that.
Thank you.
It'll be great. Yep, thank you. Okay. Let's see. Find my agenda here. Okay, our next public hearing is going to be about the township's proposal to add a new application to our list of applications that we have on the website, related to placing an accessory structure closer to the roadway than the primary residence. That's an ordinance that we passed within the last year, I think. And so now we need an application form to accommodate that ordinance and to accommodate applications to do that. And I think the planning commission also has a proposal for revising the fee schedule for that and for the grading permit description. So since this is a thing that's proposed by the planning commission, if Mark, would you kind of introduce this topic to us a little bit?
Yeah, is this the proposed version? I'm just checking. That's the original?
They're just highlighted, so.
Oh, accessory structure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was looking down below. Yeah, so when the ordinance was amended to allow the accessory structures in front of the house with this approval process of the board, the fee and the application process related to this was not addressed. It's not a variance request, and there wasn't a administrative process for this. It wasn't defined what the fee would be and what the escrow would be. So the recommendation is that the fee and escrow would be the same as it would be for a variance request, because it does require a public hearing, notice to the neighbors in this process that we just went through. So the escrow money would be put forward to pay any costs to the township for the hearing and such. And the application fee would be $100, just like for a variance request to process this. Does that make sense?
Does to me, yeah.
Yep. Okay, so we would change the current fee schedule with this new version that would have this defined, that there's a fee and an escrow for the accessory structure closer to the right of way than the residence. And there's also a form, an application form for this, and that's already on the website. Are we looking at that too tonight, or no need? Is it just this? Oh, it's in the packet, yeah. Which is basically about the same as a variance request.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Pretty much identical to the variance application.
And then the other item on the fee schedule was related to the grading permit. And there was a comment on the previous, or the current fee schedule that said, it was a carryover from a past fee schedule. It said, was it greater than 1 acre disturbed, something like that? Is that what it was? Greater than 1 acre? It's been a while
Yeah,
since
I
we
think
looked at
that's
it.
what the
Yeah.
fee schedule had kind of a note or,
So we omitted that
Comment.
note, basically, yeah. Because it was inconsistent with what's in our ordinance, which is the 100 yards,
Yeah.
right?
exactly.
So it's just to basically make this clarification or correction, and omit that comment that had carried in there. I think it's just those two things, right? Did I miss anything? Just those two?
I think it's
No.
just those two,
Correct.
3 if you count the form.
And, it's not clear to me whether a public hearing is required for a change to the fee schedule. I don't know. It's probably good practice to do that, but I don't think it's required. Is that right? I think we had
I think
talked about that.
Troy
before.
thought it would be best to do a public hearing because, our ordinance does adopt our fee schedule, but this is for one thing, we're adding a new element to the fee schedule, and I think Troy just thought it would be appropriate to have a public hearing just to cover our.
Yeah, I think it's good practice. Give
Yeah.
people opportunity to speak up. These are fees we're imposing upon ourselves. Government gone wild again. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it. Okay. So is there any public comment on either of these amendments to the fee schedule or the adoption of an application for allowing an accessory structure closer to the right of way than the residence? Anybody want to make any comment on the adoption of these changes to our practices in the township? Oh, we got somebody, okay.
Dave Schultz, 1440 Norcrest. Did I understand you're removing the 1 acre criteria for a grading permit?
Yes, right.
Can you explain why?
Well, I think the ordinance talks about, what does it talk about? 100 yards of? So 100 yards of fill, if 100 yards of fill is being brought in or more, and there's land alteration to that extent. And I think the ordinance has some other things too. If I don't even know what all the various triggers are in the ordinance. That's one of them though. But there's no trigger in the ordinance that refers to 1 acre being disturbed. As far as I know, that's not one of the triggers. And so how that got into the fee schedule, we're not sure, because it should not be a threshold, because the ordinance doesn't make it a threshold to require a grading permit. So we shouldn't make it a threshold to require payment for a grading permit.
I think it should be required. The whole thing that got triggered on this was the airport expansion. They did not move in the dirt. They graded more than 1 acre. And that was the requirement or the criteria that triggered this whole thing.
And that might be another, I don't have the ordinance. in front
Thank
of me.
you.
Yeah, thank you, Dave. Yeah, that might be another trigger, but the point is, we shouldn't be listing those triggers or those minimum requirements in the fee schedule. The fee schedule is just to let people know what it's going to cost to get one of these permits. The fee schedule, it's not the job of the fee schedule to say, how many tons or how many acres or anything else. The fee schedule is just to tell folks, this is what it's going to cost to get the permit.
You didn't need a permit,
Right,
right? But the ordinance says
you do.
if you move 100 yards,
Yep.
and that might be on less than an acre, you need a permit, it's 100 yards.
Right.
And really, if you grade an acre, you might be moving 100 yards, right?
Yeah.
Depending on what the grading is.
Does it specifically say moving or hauling in?
I think it talks about 100 yards of fill.
That's not moving.
Well, in any event, if we need to tweak the ordinance, well, we can do that someday.
The ordinance is the place to address that.
Exactly. Right. The ordinance is the place to set the standards. The fee schedule just talks about what we're gonna have to pay for a permit.
We can look at that. It might be less.
Well, thank you, thank you. Thanks for that comment. Any other public comment on our proposed amendments to the fee schedule? Anybody else? If there are none, I will close the public hearing, and I will move that we adopt the proposed changes to the fee schedule and that we adopt the proposed form for applying for an accessory structure closer to the right of way than the residence. Do I have a second?
I'm thinking.
Okay.
With the construction going up so high, this adds a bit to construction costs, which I'm against.
Which one? The grading
Well,
permit or the
All of them do, basically.
accessory structure?
Yeah.
The accessory structure fee is $100.
Yep.
That's pretty de minimis, I think, in the grand scheme of things. The grading permit fee is $300. But it may require having the engineer come out and take a look at it. The engineer's going to bill us for their time.
Mhm.
And, you know, there are expenses that we incur in reviewing and approving such a permit. In many cases, it'll be well in excess of that $300.
Well, like let's see, where's that? Swimming pool fence permit with an escrow of $5,000. You know, swimming pool costs a bundle of money and you're adding $5,000 to it temporarily.
Yeah, that's just the escrow, of course, they can get
Yeah.
I think the discussion tonight is around the two line.
Yeah.
Fee, not the entire fee schedule. That would be another discussion if another fee should be.
What, the escrow?
Well, I think what Mark is saying is that, you know, if we want to take a look at the rest of the fee schedule, kind of in its entirety, we maybe we should set aside some time to do that. You know, that's what we might call scope creep, you know, because in other words, we're here to talk about these two items in the fee schedule. But if you think there are other things in the fee schedule that should be looked at, you know, we can work with the planning commission. Planning commission worked very hard on this. About a year ago, a year and a half ago, something like that, to tweak this current fee schedule to more closely reflect the costs that the township actually incurs in issuing these things. They put a lot of thought into it, but there's always room for improvement, so we can certainly take a look at that in the future if
I think that's a good idea, and I'll second your motion.
All right, moved and seconded that we adopt these changes. Any further discussion on these changes? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed no. Okay, so those are adopted. And I don't know if we have a resolution or need one for this, but is there one that's ready for signature? We've just adopted the changes, okay?
Yeah, I'm not sure if we need one.
Okay. You have an opinion on that? We've made a couple changes to our fee schedule. And we adopted this form, that application form.
Is the fee schedule an ordinance?
The ordinance refers to the fee schedule and I think it defers to the fee schedule. It says the fee for, you know, any of these permits and so forth is delineated in the fee schedule.
Yeah. Then you should be fine just doing that.
Okay, thanks. Alrighty. Okay. All right, so that closes the public hearing sections of tonight's agenda. Next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. And thankfully, we only have one set of minutes to approve. And that is the minutes of the September 8th board meeting. I've looked them over. I don't have any changes. Have you got any changes?
Yep.
Okay.
Spelling of my name,
Okay.
I don't care.
Is that the up at the top there?
Yeah. Right there.
Okay.
U before E except when followed by C
Gotcha.
or something like that. And it said I asked about the throughput of the operation and the impact. I don't think I asked for a throughput. That could be material, data, or anything passing through something. I think I was more specific than that on the comments I made.
what I remember you saying was, are you planning to increase or add equipment
Yeah.
to improve and
Yeah.
increase throughput maybe, or, you know,
Yeah.
to increase production?
Mhm.
I remember you asked that.
Yeah.
Maybe we should note that in.
But you know what? I really don't care.
Well, it's a kind of it was kind of an important point, I think.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe we should, I don't know the exact verbiage, but maybe it should be noted in there that, Mr. Buelow asked about whether the,
Output could be increased
by
increased equipment and
Yes.
operators.
Right, right. Okay, so I would agree to making that amendment, however you want to wordsmith it. Okay, anything else? Okay, I think that was a good point. All right, I will move then to adopt the minutes of that meeting as amended. And do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye?
Aye.
Aye, opposed no. Okay, so those minutes are adopted as amended. Next item will be the treasurer's report and payment of the bills.
In the month of September, the township recorded $17,899 worth of interest. Or I'm sorry, $55,492 worth of revenues, $17,899 was interest, $27,472 building permits, $3,200 escrows, $840 right-of-way permits, $5,000 pool escrow, and $650 worth of donations to the 75th celebration. The township paid out $525,968 in the month of September, $7,900 for payroll, $3,000 for driveway escrow return, $71,000 for engineering and the street improvement plan, $5,200 for heating and air, new air conditioner, $392,839 for payment number 4 of our 2025 road project, $23,521 for building inspection, $7,100 for recycling, and $5,500 for legal, bringing the total current assets to $6,686,433. And we do not have any CDs until the end of November. So,
All right, thank you, Marcia. I will move that we accept the treasurer's report and approve payment of the bills. Do I have a second?
No.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Got two bills here. Can you tell me what these are for? Seems like every month we get a bill that there's no clue as to what it is by reading the bill. I think
this is for the road work that is being done by the county. It's for that share of CASA 15 up until, it says it on the invoice, on the back up to the invoice, but it's CASA 15 up to something.
Oh,
Like-
so are you looking at, you're looking at the bill for
They're two Washington County.
two Washington County bills? Okay, so yeah, those are from Washington County.
Yep.
And they are billing us, one of them is for, I think it's for property acquisition. And the other one is for, it's a 10% payment on our total, is it 50,000? Yeah, $50,000 is what we're contributing, we, the township, are contributing to their construction of a cul-de-sac on, is it 19th Street or
something like that.
18th Street. 18th Street cul-de-sac. And it was the county's idea to do that. The county didn't want an additional access onto Manning off of a small, residential road because for safety reasons, they didn't want that. And so we all agreed that that was important for safety. And the landowners there to the north and south agreed on a price for their acquisition of their right-of-way. And so the payment for $9,000 is our share of that expense that the county incurred. County bought the land from them, and it's going to become our land or our right-of-way. And then $5,000 is our initial 10% invoice payment on the $50,000 agreed upon township contribution to that road. And we repaved 18th Street up to that point. And obviously, if this hadn't happened, we would have repaved it all the way to Manning. But this happened, so we got to stop, you know, I don't know how many feet short, 400 or 500 feet short or something like that.
Closer to probably 150
Oh, 150 feet.
from where the county took over to finish the cul-de-sac. I'll say.
Anyway, that's what that is.
Okay, yeah, I just think it'd be nice if a person could look at the bills, and look at the
Yeah.
checks, and they match.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree that Washington County wasn't, you know, very forthcoming with their description.
Yeah, and we have gotten bills that nobody here knew what they were for from the county. Then the other thing, it seems like you're making out more checks than we've got paperwork to approve.
Well, we've got, some of these are for, you know, payroll
Yeah.
and other things. Maybe Marcia can
Well-
comment to that. I don't know if it's, you know, we don't get invoices like from all these employees and so forth.
Yes, so even the reimbursements that go through, like, if an employee buys something, you know, like, for example, this month, I bought a new computer. So my reimbursement is in there, but I didn't give Carrie the invoice so she could copy it for your folder. I apologize for that.
No, you know, those little things, I don't think you should have to keep track of those minor things. But I'll approve your motion.
Okay, and we do keep track of them, by the way. We keep track of all those minor things. It's all, you know, in our financials, and we get audited every year too. But in any event, okay, so yeah, the motion is to accept the treasurer's report and approve payment of the bills, and you're seconding that.
Yeah.
And so that'll require a roll call vote.
Yep, Chairman Moosberger
Aye.
and Supervisor Bulow.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. All right, the next item on the agenda is our planning commission update. Boy, you really have the microphone a lot here, Mark. You do.
It's great to be here, Bill.
Yeah.
Okay, a few things the planning commission is working on. We will talk about items 6 to 7 on the agenda with Tim Peckman and Adam Simmet tonight. We've had them at the planning commission meeting, so we'll speak about that when we get to those topics.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yep. And then the big news is that we had 2 applications for the vacant position, replacing getting Betsy's chair, and we're recommending Jim Franklin as a member of the planning commission. Jim's here tonight. It was Jim and Kelly, the gardener, Kelly Stichter, both exceptional candidates that would be great on the planning commission. Great experiences. Both retirees or near retirement professionals, been in township a long time. Their heart and their interest and work has been with the township. So we're glad that we have 2 good people that stepped up. And we talked to them both at the meeting in August, and we're recommending Jim. So if you would make a motion, or if you want to talk to Jim, Jim's here too. That'd be fine.
Well, sure. Sure. Let's hear from Jim a little bit about, you know,
Want to come up, Jim?
what you're.
Introduce yourself. He made a really nice resume. Yeah, it was really nice. Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
My name is Jim Franklin.
You want the mic? Come up to the mic. Come on. We're on the camera. Oh yeah, it's a new world. Like being an actor.
Whole new world.
Yeah.
Different than when we had him at Oakland Junior High with John McPherson. I've been in the township. I'm Jim Franklin, and I live 642 Midwest Trail. And I have been in the township since 1999. And I've always had an interest in the township, in a little bit of the development of it. And we looked at, oh gosh, I guess I got my first bit of it was when they were building the holiday station up there, and contributed a little there. And I've done I go to those planning commission meetings just as a spectator, and now I'm on it. And I enjoy trying to make our community better. You know, I've lived here for a zillion years, and 25 years, and I don't plan on moving anytime soon. And I like to see it develop, and there's growing pains with the city just keeps coming out. We want to keep our community the way it is and change when we need to change, and we've got to do it smartly. I think I can contribute from a residential standpoint on that. And I do like one thing about the community I really enjoy is that people have a way of working things out when they need to. And right now we're at a kind of a respectful stage. Everyone's respectful of everyone, and I think that's the best way to go, so we can hear ideas and make a plan forward. Very happy that we have a centrally located building here too. So if you have any questions, you can give me a call. And I thank the planning commission for recommending me. You guys, I don't know if you'll approve me or not. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it. Appreciate your willingness to serve on the planning commission. I think it's probably appropriate then for me to move that we appoint Jim Franklin to the open seat on the planning commission. Do I have a second?
Aye.
Moved and seconded.
Yes.
Any discussion? What would you like to say about it? Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And opposed, no. Okay, so Jim, congratulations, and thank you for volunteering to serve. Appreciate it.
Yay. So this would fulfill Betsy's term. I believe Betsy's term is up the end of 2026. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm looking forward to working with Jim here, so it's great. We're gonna have a meeting on October 21st. It's an organizational meeting at the town hall with the town board and the attorney and the planner. And we're gonna talk about this proposed change in an ordinance then amendment that would kind of rearrange how public hearings are held. So that's all set, right? 7 o'clock, October 21? Yeah. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me
Good.
too. And then October 23rd will be our planning commission meeting this month. We are moving our meeting a week out due to MEA weekend, some travel schedules and some conflicts there. So we will have our planning commission meeting 2 days later. We have a pretty light agenda right now, but things change during the month. But right now, basically, we'll onboard Jim. He's going to get a township email and a name tag. Yeah. And we'll get you familiar with kind of how we operate with our documents and things like that. And then we will, hopefully it'll be a time when we can recap with the planning commission the results of this discussion on the 21st. So we'll hold a meeting, although we have a pretty light agenda. And maybe something else will come up, but that's what's on the book right now. So.
Right,
All
Mark.
good?
Sounds good.
All right, thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
And next it's going to be, oh, not yet. Roads? No, a couple more.
Yep.
Nice roads. I really enjoy Nolan Avenue now. Thanks, Chad.
Okay. All right. So let's see, the next item is review an application to place an accessory structure closer to the street than the residence. Tim Heyman, is it? Heyman? Oh, Peckman. See that? Okay, that's right. Because on your application, I got that it was Peckman. And for some reason on the agenda here, it doesn't say Peckman, but thank you
Oh,
for.
yeah,
thanks for
it's
straightening
me.
out. It's you.
It's Old Ridge Avenue night tonight, 1227 Old Ridge Avenue. So yeah, I'm looking for an approval for my shed that's already there. I bought the lot like 5 years ago, moved in right during COVID, and didn't know what I was doing clearly. I ordered a shed delivered and had it dropped off. And I didn't know I needed variance to be farther away from the street, whatever, and neither did the guy that dropped off the shed. So anyway, it's been there for 5 years. It's almost impossible to see from the road because of all the foliage and everything, but it is there. I can rest assured it is there. So it's on my property. When my neighbor went and asked for a variance from this group about a month or so ago, you can kind of see in this picture, his big blue one is behind mine. It's actually closer to the road even than mine is, but the city noticed mine and said, hey, what's going on with this? That's when this all came to light, that I didn't get a permit or anything. I just dropped off a shed. So it doesn't have a foundation, doesn't have electrical, doesn't have heat, doesn't have anything. It's just a shed. So, but it was also too close to the property line, my neighbor's property line. So I shoved it over to where it currently is now in this picture, that you can see there. So I'm far away from my neighbor. That box is checked, but I still need approval to have it, since it's technically closer to the street than my house. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I did build it to look and feel pretty much like my house. This is a picture of the house. So I found this company that makes these custom sheds that make them look like your house. So it blends in, it looks really nice and cute and everything. But again, there's no lights on it or anything like that. And it also is in a good spot for me because now that my neighbor built his, I don't have to look out my front yard and stare at his. I can at least see mine. But again, I'm at the end of a dead end road, at the end of a cul-de-sac, 350 feet in, behind a whole bunch of trees is my shed. So I'm looking for an approval for that. I prefer not to put it in the middle of my yard. I have kids, they play soccer, they play football, and I hate to have to use the reason I moved to West Lakeland is for my yard, to have to put a shed in the middle there. The only thing I really put in is my plow, side by side with the plow. So if I put it farther back in my yard, then I got to put a road to the driveway to plow, which is the only reason I have to plow in the first place. So anyway, all those reasons are why it is where it is. The defense rests.
Yeah.
So
A couple of points though. There's a couple hurdles that we have to cross before we can do the accessory structure closer to the right of way than the house. One of them is the accessory structure has to basically match the house, be similar, design and so forth. Looks like the colors are close, but I don't know what the siding is on that thing or the siding on your house. What kind of siding is on this accessory structure?
the siding on my house is, like hardy board, cement board.
Hardy board.
The siding on this shed is just wood.
Wood, okay.
Yeah, it's just painted wood.
Okay. And it looks like it has a steel roof maybe?
Yeah, is that steel or tin or?
Pole barn,
Yeah,
siding?
yeah,
Okay.
that kind of thing.
So that, may or may not be an issue. The other issue I see is it has to be impractical to locate it farther away than the right of way, farther away, to locate it closer to the right of way than the house. It has to be impractical to do that, to locate it behind the house, or at or behind the setback of the house. And just looking at the contours there, it looks like you could pretty easily slide that thing back to the southwest if that map is oriented north-south like most maps are. Sliding it to the southwest wouldn't, before you hit the steep grades, it looks like you might be able to put that at or behind the setback of the house. So that's another question, is it really impractical to do that, or is that a possibility?
Where are you talking?
Okay.
So behind the house?
No, other side. Yeah, no, you've got, just slide it due southwest.
Right here.
Yeah, or maybe a little further southwest, I don't know, until you get to the edge of the grade there. What is
Here?
No. You were.
Sorry, that cursor was
Yeah, no, you're pretty much there. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So right smack in the middle of my front yard.
Oh.
And
The ordinance.
that's what we gotta do.
Well, the ordinance says it has to be impractical to locate it at or behind the setback of the house. So that's a hurdle. I'm just pointing out, you're coming to us for kind of ideas about what are my obstacles, what are my hurdles, what do I have to be thinking about when I make this application, and that's one of the things you have to think about. The other thing is, I assume this is more than 200 square feet, and you'd also have to get a building permit for
and they talked about a fine and everything.
accessory structure larger than 200 square feet. So those are the considerations, and that's all I'm pointing out to you.
Yeah, I mean, I can certainly, I probably would not put it right in the middle of my yard. I would be very disappointed if you have to put it right in the middle of my yard. Considering on everything I see in this town, and you can't even see it from the road, I have to put it in the middle of my yard. That would be very disappointing. I would probably put it back here. If you guys had the other picture, I could show it to you. So that it is technically as many feet away from the road, I would end up backing up right here. And, yep, great picture. So I would end up moving it here, taking out trees, and I would have the back look right, my neighbor would look right out the back. If that's a better option, we could do that. I think that would be a disappointment if that's what this group thought was a better option. But I'm not gonna use the middle of my yard.
I'm only saying you have to comply with the statute. I'm not really, talking about the aesthetics of this. I'm just saying comply with the rule.
Well, I'm
Comply with
asking
the
for
ordinance.
an exception to it, basically, right? That's what a variance is. I'm asking for you guys to make an exception there. I know what the rule is now.
Yeah.
I apologize for that. I said I'm gonna pay a fine. I've already written $1,100 in checks for the shed that's 5 years old. It didn't even cost that much. But we're setting that aside. I'm just saying, I'm looking for an exception, so I don't have to put it in the middle of my yard. I got a septic here. I could either put it here, which if I do the measurement, would be as far away as my house. My house is about 400, so I back it up 50 feet and put it over here. I'll take out the trees and I'll let him look out right at the back.
Mm.
I think that's bad for him. I wouldn't want that if I'm him.
Yeah.
But if you guys won't give me that exception, then I'll have to do that.
Well, we're not forcing you to take out trees and make your neighbor look at something they don't want to look at. But we do think it's important to follow the ordinances that we've established, and that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. And I also think it's important to have some sort of just context. It's been there for 5 years. Nobody's complained. In fact, neighbors have said they like it. I've cleaned up quite a lot on that lot. It was an abandoned lot with a lot of garbage, waste, chemicals, you name it. Again, it doesn't apply here, doesn't matter, but I have worked very hard to make this look better and improve the look of West Lakeland, including making this thing look exactly like my house. And I would prefer not to take out trees, just to have a small shed. So I'm asking, I guess we'll have the public hearing, people can complain and whatever if they want to.
So have you submitted an application at this point?
Mhm.
Or? Oh, you have? Okay.
Yeah. I went to the planning commission, then I got the mailing list of all the addresses, turned that in, I wrote the check for $1,100.
So we are looking at setting this on for a public hearing now at our next meeting. All right, so we'll, any other question? Yeah. go ahead. Comment?
I do have photos if you guys want to see. I'd encourage you to come on up and take a look at the cul-de-sac and see if you can find the shed. I will say this body did just approve a much larger structure that is closer than this. My shed is behind his and farther away. So it's like,
Right, and his practical difficulty was that he had a sharp drop off in the grade back there. He couldn't put it back there. You're fortunate enough that your lot has got a little bit more buildable area on it.
Sure.
So that's the difference.
and then,
Okay. There, yeah.
thank you.
Tim was at the planning commission meeting. Yeah, he's quite a delinquent and he's trying to make it right, Phil.
Yep.
I mean, he's really trying to make it right. And, if it's determined that it would be practical to put it, behind the house, then I guess it's a variance request that it can be in front of the house. Because, the ordinance reads that it needs to be impractical to put it behind the house. Well, maybe if it's not impractical, then it's a simple variance request, which is the same process, the application and the public hearing. So we should go through that process probably now. But it's a variance, it's not a request to put a accessory structure in front of the house. It's a request for a variance.
Okay.
If that's the way that it's viewed, I guess, right? But it, it really, he has a pretty logical plan. Considering where he is, what his site looks like, what the neighborhood looks like, it's not a problem, right? And then, the other thing is, the ordinance doesn't say that the building matches the house. The ordinance says that the building is similar to or complementary to the house. So if it was a brick house, it doesn't necessarily have to be a brick building. It needs to be complementary to the house or similar to the house. It doesn't say it matches. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I just checked that. So I mean, our view is that it is complementary to the house. It's a nice looking building. It's one of these prefabricated buildings. Is it 12 by 40? Is that right? 12 by 40,
Yeah,
something like that.
yep.
Yeah, it's not 10 by 20. If it was 200 square feet, it would be, we wouldn't have the conversation, right? And what was really problematic was that it was in the setback. It was on the lot line. It wasn't off the lot line, and he moved it, right? He proactively or retroactively, or however you want to say that. When it was brought to his attention, he moved it, right, in good faith, and moved it to, out of that setback, so that, and that's very uncommon that a variance request to be in the setback is approved. So he's done that. The building's there. He'll need a permit if he's allowed to have it. And we'll go through the process with a variance request to have it where it is, right? So,
All right, thanks.
Thanks.
Have you obtained a building permit, or are you just going to?
I didn't, like, I don't get a building permit, not building before this is even approved, if it's not approved, then I don't get a building.
Oh, I
permit.
see.
I didn't know if
Okay.
it was, I mean, obviously I messed this whole.
Yeah. Okay,
I'll just wait to see what you want.
all right. Well, we'll set it on for a public hearing. Go ahead, you had a comment?
Yeah, actually, so the application that's submitted is not a variance application. It's the accessory structure in front of the residence.
Right.
Yeah, so
So that's the one we would proceed with if we have a public hearing. And if you want to do a variance application later or instead of this, you'd have to probably let Carrie know, right? But,
well, I think you just want to do a variance request, don't you?
well, I don't know.
Same fee and same process. What's that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the view is it's not impractical.
Well, that's not a ruling or anything. I'm just pointing out that those are standards that have to be met. Nobody's ruled on that, Nothing will happen until there's a public hearing, really, in terms of action taken, So I'm merely pointing out, these are the standards, these are the elements that have to be met. That's all I'm saying.
It's easy to argue that it could be placed behind the house, but he doesn't want to put it there, so.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
you can do 2 zoning permits and 2 applications at the same time.
Okay.
This, because you have by ordinance a separate process for the accessory structure closer to the right of way and a separate process for a variance. You can do them at the same time. I've seen it
Same
a
public
number
hearing.
of times, where somebody needs they're looking for a conditional use permit, but in order to get that, they also need a variance from something else.
Okay.
So that you could do them both at the same time. Like you're saying, it hasn't been decided yet on the denying the other one, but if you do them at the same time, it'd be more efficient, and you can do it then.
Sure, okay. And that, I take it though, it would require 2 applications.
Yep.
Okay. So, so I suppose we could still have our public hearing if an application for a variance request also comes in time to, I don't know what your publication schedule is a year.
So to clarify, I need 2 things.
Well, I don't think you do need 2 things, but some suggestion has been made that you might want to apply it both ways as kind of a stopgap or a kind of an alternative, request that you're making. People have suggested that. I'm not telling you have to do it.
Because the alternative would be, okay, you go ahead with the application that you have now. That is just for the permit for the accessory structure closer to the right of way. If that's denied, you could turn around and then do a variance and the same application again. I'm just saying,
You can
You
present
could
it
do
both at
them
the same time and
both
say in the
because
alternative.
because you are, as part of this application process, you are seeking, you're asking for a variance from what the standard is under the accessory structure closer to the right of way.
So,
I think I follow. I basically asked for a variance, but I also asked for approval for right, which to me is kind of the same as a variance, but it's not.
It's just because the ordinance said there's two different things. You just, specifically the permit for the, if you didn't want to put it, it is kind of an unusual situation because on its face, it doesn't require a variance. You're just asking for the permit for the accessory closer to the right of way.
But I suppose the logic is, if that's denied, you'd say in the alternative, I am applying for a variance from those
Yeah.
rules that are in that ordinance.
Yeah.
Because of the hardship or unusual circumstances on my property.
Because you can still do them both at the same time and then, because I've had situations where somebody has applied for a CUP and applied for a variance at the same time. The body decides they're not going to deny the variance, so then the CUP doesn't matter. So you could just put it all together as one.
Variance request application and submit that.
Yeah, and when does he have to do that by, if we want to combine these in the same public hearing?
Actually, I mean, anytime. We're okay. Our next meeting is November 10th.
I know, but you have a certain notice period prior to
Yeah,
November 10th.
right. 2 weeks prior.
2 weeks prior, so that would have to be submitted by that date in order to have the public hearing happen, right?
Correct.
Okay. So 2 weeks prior to November 10th, is it?
Yeah, so it would be October 27th.
I can do that. I mean, I assume it's all the same stuff I had to pull together for
Pretty
this,
much.
so I should make it like.
And the
Except
variance
for the
is just
labels, yeah.
Requesting a variance from the impractical placement requirements, essentially.
Got it, yeah.
And Tim, I already have the labels, so you don't have to worry about picking up another set.
All right, fair enough.
So I will move then that we direct the clerk to put this on for public hearing at the November 10th meeting. And this, this request, this application, and a variance request, should it be received by October, whatever that date is, 27th. Okay. Right, that's my motion. Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no? Okay, good. So we'll see you in November 10th. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Question.
Yeah.
Is it in our ordinance that the accessory building has to match the house?
It has, I can't remember the exact language. You just read it. What does it say?
Similar to our complementary, if it's placed closer to the right of way than the residence.
Right.
But if it isn't closer, does that apply?
No. No, if it's not closer, it can be a pole barn. Okay. Let's see, what's that? Adam Simmet is the next item on the agenda. Review an application to place an accessory structure closer to the street than the residence.
Hi, good evening. Adam Simmet, 12634 20th Street North. And I am applying to put an accessory structure closer to the street. I've been working with Mark and a little bit with Carrie to kind of go through the formalities of this. So I met with the Planning Commission last month, kind of went through the plan. One suggestion they had was to get a formal survey, which I did, and was able to kind of mark out where the setbacks lay and able to put it in there with not crossing any of those boundaries. There's a couple other pictures if you keep going too. So yeah. And then you should have copies of the building plan as well. So we also have a HOA in our neighborhood. So all the materials need to match the house exactly, which we've kind of gone through that process. So I have approval from the HOA on the style and the building materials of the structure as well.
I don't think that picture does justice as to how many trees are really screening their house and the property.
Yeah, if you scroll down a little bit, so I am gonna, as part of my plan, I'm gonna add some additional screening. Well, yeah, kind of see there. That's a little bit older picture, but there is a decent amount of screening between the road, and then I'm gonna add some additional plants between the road and that building. So if you look at the landscape plan there, you can also see kind of where we plan to do those plantings.
I don't suppose you have a, you don't have kind of a, like an architect's sketch of the building itself?
Yep. Yeah, there should be 3 copies of the front, side, and yep, should be 3
Gotcha.
different pages there.
Okay.
So yeah, all the style of it will match the exterior of the house and shingles and siding and doors.
Okay, and then, yeah, so you're saying you're planning to do some additional vegetative screening?
Yep.
Between the structure and the roadway. And will
Correct.
that be like evergreens or something that's kind of, you know,
Yep, so I've actually already started planting some spruce a little bit further to the west, but I'll continue to add. I was a little hesitant to add any more kind of near where the garage is gonna go because just construction damage and
Sure.
stuff. But yeah, part of the plan is to add some additional spruce in between the roadway and the garage.
okay?
And I've talked to, so part of the HOA process was talking to our neighbors, so I've already met with the neighbors. Actually, a couple of them came out and kind of walked the plan and stuff, so I mean, I guess we'll see a public hearing potentially, but haven't had anybody really have any concerns over it.
Okay, thank you. All right, and do you have any other questions right now? Let's hear from the planning commission on their thoughts on this.
Is this the last time I have?
This is your
Keep
last.
on, I just get a
it's
chair
your-
up there.
It's
okay?
your last opportunity, is the way you want to look at it.
Oh, there's still 3
You'll have
minutes
other
at the end,
opportunities
right?
next month,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, so we've had this at the planning commission. We spent a fair amount of time on the discussion around the setback from the street. And you see what he's got, a arc drawn parallel to the street there. Cause he's on a corner, right? We've had this before too. And, and, you know, he got some professional services to help him here to identify where these lines are. And he's laid out the building and it's a beautiful, beautiful building, complementary to his house. And I think what he's got here is good. So we're recommending to move forward with that public hearing. Hopefully get it approved.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah.
thank you, Mark. Set this on for public hearings at our November meeting as well. Do I have a second? Second. Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. I should have asked any discussion. Aye. And all those opposed, no. So that's, we'll see you in November. on the
Great.
10th.
Perfect. Carrie, any other paperwork you need before then?
Yes, I'll be in touch.
Okay, sounds good. All right, thank you guys. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Next would be, we're gonna hear from Chad Isaacson, our town engineer, regarding the 2025 street improvement update and a few other topics.
Good evening, Mr. Chair and Board. Thanks for having me this evening. 2025 street improvements, status update. We are down to finishing up Neil Nolan 20th, along with some punch list items on the other 3 areas around town. It's been at a little bit of a standstill while we get some things figured out on how to proceed with some items related to those streets, but contractor met with the project team late last week and developed kind of a plan of attack. We're just waiting on their schedule to finish. Before you tonight is pay request number 5 in the amount of $575,639.84 for work performed to date. Work has been reviewed, quantities match, and it is recommended for payment. The town would retain $153,932.53 per the contract documents. And I stand to any questions board members may have related to the project or the pay request.
So that retainage, is that, is there anything we're retaining over and above that contractual retainage on the, because of some work, some kind of remediation that they have to do that we've identified on, Neil, I guess it is, and maybe a couple of other streets, there's some remediation on like on the shoulders and stuff.
The amount retained more than covers the work outstanding punch list wise or correction wise.
Okay,
And that is what it is being held for in the event that there are some issues the contractor does not address. The amount retained is $153,932.53.
and that's probably additive to some amounts that were retained in previous payments, right? So there's actually,
That is the total amount.
well, that's the
retained.
current total amount.
Correct.
And that'll cover all the, you know, like the issues with some of the pavement has to be removed and stuff like that.
That's correct.
Okay. All right, and otherwise, they passed all the testing that's been done and so forth, it's all appropriate. Right?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair.
All right. All right, so I then will move that we make payment on payment number 5 to the contractor on our road reconstruction project. And do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. I will need a,
Chairman Moosberger,
aye.
Supervisor Bulow.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chad. All right, and you were also gonna mention a grant opportunity that we can.
Yes, Mr. Chair. So there's a program that the state operates called the Local Road Improvement Program. Basically, it opens up for grant opportunities soliciting across the state for cities, counties, townships, Native American tribes, and some discretionary. What it tries to do is whatever amount it's funded by the legislature, distribute evenly across those entities across the state. So I did provide a little bit of information to the township just related to the program. It is a opportunity for funding road construction, otherwise not really eligible for other types of funds. They do look for roads of, you know, some sort of economic significance or supporting economic development, regionally significant transit ways, and kind of just working with the township to see if anything really in the town limits would be a need and qualify for this program. I know that you and I, Mr. Chair, met and discussed the potential that 30th Street as a collector road that provides access to the Lake Elmo Regional Airport might be a contender to look at. It's currently a shared roadway with Baytown Township, which is an ongoing discussion on how that road gets divvied, but it is a road in need of improvement, and it does bring it to an area of regional significance. So it's one opportunity we discussed further exploring with Baytown jointly. Other than that, you know, some of the other opportunities related to 22nd Street, that's outside, where eventually the township is going to turn that up to the, Washington County. Washington County currently has that roadway scheduled for, I believe, 2030 or later in their CIP for actual construction. So that falls outside the window this specific opportunity allots for. Construction would have to be done by 2028 if a project were so selected. Yeah, it's just kind of a brief overview of some of the further review of this program and potential opportunities in West Lakeland Township limits.
Okay, thanks. And I did broach this topic to Baytown's chair, the idea that we would, maybe it would benefit both townships to submit a joint grant proposal to reconstruct 30th Street, which you've identified as a street that might, you know, potentially be the sort of thing they're looking at to fund. And so and I impressed upon them that this has to be done kind of quickly because this is fall. It's right now. We have to get together and decide on this right away. So they're thinking about it and they're going to get back to us. I kind of think that we should probably, as a township, submit our own application, even if Baytown's not interested in joining us with it. But I want to extend the offer to Baytown to submit a joint proposal because that might enhance the chances of it being accepted. Now, I have a question. It sounds like Bolton and Mink is kind of willing to and able to, you know, help us with this grant application. I'm just wondering what kind of, if you have a ballpark idea, what kind of fee would they be looking for, or how do they get compensated for this?
I can more specifically talk to the people that actually write these grant packages. We were given some ballpark figures of I think $5,000 to $7,000 for a typical grant package. Just kind of using some ranges.
Okay, all right, all right. Gives us something to think about. All right, well, I appreciate you looking into this and bringing this to our attention. And I'm hopeful that we could maybe work with Baytown and kind of submit a joint proposal and maybe be successful. Probably, you know, shouldn't count our chickens before they're hatched, but it would be, it's, you know, nothing ventured, nothing gained. So it's something we probably should look at. So thanks for your bringing that to our attention. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Anything else from you?
That is all.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay. That brings us to 30th Street, JPA, Joint Powers Agreement. And still no, you know, firm commitment on the part of Baytown. You know, I've made the offer basically to Baytown that we would pay half of the delta, the difference in cost between the proposed westerly section and the proposed easterly section of 30th Street. The delta is about 200,000, so we'd pay them about 100,000, then we'd be even. And that's over that 15-year time horizon. They've intimated that they think that 15-year time horizon is too long and that we should be looking at a 5-year time horizon, which of course results in a much larger disparity between east half and west half. And so that's kind of where that discussion stands right now. And I'm insisting that it has to be a 15-year time horizon because otherwise it doesn't really adequately account for the real costs of maintaining these respective sections of road. And so kind of the ball's in their court. And when I hear back from Baytown, I'll bring everybody an update. I'm hoping we can come to an agreement pretty soon, but it seems like there's always a new point to be made. See, the other issue I was going to talk about was, oh yes, so I talked to RCM. That's a company that does the spray patching. They have, I asked for a couple of proposals from RCM here to do some spray patching this fall before the roads kind of fall apart in the wintertime. I thought it'd be a good idea to try to address some of the emerging pothole issues and emerging, you know, alligator sections of road that are going to turn into potholes and probably will turn into potholes over the winter, to address those right now. And so they came up with they kind of analyzed the roads, and they had a couple of maps that they did showing some of the worst roads that they thought were the worst roads. And if they addressed those, spray patching potholes and alligator areas and you know, deteriorated areas, it would be about 83,125. If they addressed all of the softball size and larger potholes in the township, they say they can do that for 113,750. So the delta is, the difference there is, well, it's about, I guess it's about 30,000 more to do kind of all the roads and you know, the various disparate areas, as opposed to just doing kind of the worst roads. And so I think we should do one of those, but I thought we should have a discussion maybe about what we thought. And before I even proceed any further with that, John, I should ask Marcia, I believe that we have adequate funds in our road maintenance budget, but I just want to make sure that you're concurring with that to even cover the 113,750. We would, okay. So let's have a discussion about that. John, what do you think? Have you had a chance to look at these at all? They're in your packet.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think?
The more you spend today, the more you spend 5 or 10, the more you
You save.
5 or 10 years out.
Yeah.
It's like changing the oil in your car.
Yeah.
You don't do it, you pay for it.
That's,
So,
yeah, that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. I mean, these things, if we don't address these things now, they're gonna be big potholes in the spring. And we're gonna be paying as much or more then. And so, it seems to make sense to, try to patch some of that stuff up before winter really takes its toll.
and I watch the potholes grow in front of my house. You know, I've got some that are about 6 inches in diameter. Well, by spring, they'll probably be 12 inches in diameter.
Unless we patch them.
Right.
Yeah. So, all right, well, so I will move that we, that we contract with RCM to do the, you know, the comprehensive, you know, work on the township roads. Try to get all the, softball-sized potholes and all of the depressed, or, yeah, the depressed areas, the areas that are coming apart, alligator areas, that they've identified, and that we, spend that $113,750 on that project. Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? The only thing I'll add is that we will have to have this, this proposal memorialized according to, Troy's, you know, contracting preferences.
Yeah.
And we'll have to do this kind of ASAP because it's already October here in a couple of days. And so they're gonna have to know that they can do it and then schedule a time and hopefully get it done before freeze up. So that's my only caveat. So, okay, so we need a roll call vote.
Chairman Moosberger,
Aye.
Supervisor Buelow.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Okay, so I think that'll be a good thing, and we'll be glad we did that. Like I say, it's like changing the oil. All right, is there any old or new business to come to the attention of the board right now? Anybody got anything? Sure.
My name is Ron Schubeller. I live at 2707 Old Green Avenue. I'm just wondering, are there any rules or regulations against using shipping containers for storage? I talked to the building inspector today. He said he didn't really know if it was a definite yes or if it was a definite no. He said I should talk to you, Carrie, because he said you people have had discussions about this, but he didn't really know which way it went. And before I fill out an application for a permit, make a drawing, what I want to do, if I'm going down a dead-end road, it doesn't make sense to do that.
I think we did have some discussion about this. Oh. Okay, well,
I
we'll
mean,
have to-
it's the cheapest way, you know.
yeah.
I have a pole barn I could add on to it, but the price is just ridiculous, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll have to look into that and figure out if the ordinance has something to say about it. I can't remember. I know we discussed this a while back, but I can't remember either, you know, where, I think the particular question, the person in question at that time, we told them no, and I can't remember why that was. I think they wanted to put it on maybe on a lot that didn't have a house on it or something. I can't remember. But be that as it may, we'll have to get
This
back to
would
you.
be a house.
Yeah, right,
Pole
right.
barn behind the pole barn, nobody would see it anyway.
Put
But
it
it's-
inside the pole barn, you got no problem.
And that's why I gotta have more storage, there ain't no room on a pole
Right,
barn.
right.
It's, the most economical way to do it.
Why don't you let me get back to you? What's your phone number?
651
Yeah,
430
yeah,
3463.
3463. Okay. I'll try to look into this a little bit and get back to you.
All right, well, winter's coming, so, you know.
Yeah. That's a great idea.
You have a new
you know,
member looking for work.
Yeah, more, two heads are better than one, so if you guys, you know, want to look at that, yeah. You can.
Well, the building inspector, you know, he said it would be considered a building.
There are several of them in the township.
I've seen them around, so that's why, but I'm asking before I just go get one and put it down.
Okay, I don't know the answer yet, but
Well, I don't know what you want. It's a storage container, is what I'm gonna use it for.
Right.
So if you want to consider it permanent, non-permanent, I don't know what you would look at that.
Yeah. I'm not sure either, but I'll get back to you.
All right, thank you.
Okay. All right, thanks. What's that? What's that? Okay. Oh, okay, so we must be in the public comment period here, I take it. Oh, this is old business. Oh, okay.
Yep, it's hoping to fit under old business.
Okay.
So we're still working towards getting site visits set up for Amrise's Lakeland operation. My understanding is that the board has a already scheduled visit on October 9th at 11 a.m. to tour Amrise's facility. And so we're proposing that as part of that tour of the facility, the board would go look at that extraction area and get your questions answered and do what you need to do there. Then you don't have to call a special meeting to have a quorum there to take a look at that. Does that make sense?
I imagine we'd probably look at that. Yeah, I imagine we'd look at that as part of our,
Okay.
inspection.
Then as far as the residents meeting, I'm hoping the township can help Amrise with a mailing list. We'd be willing to send out mail invites to residences within a quarter mile of our operation, and then hoping we could put an advertisement on the township's website for when that meeting would be. Looking for, yes, 5:30 p.m. on October 16th. We'd meet at the parking lot here. And then depending on the RSVPs, we need those so we know what kind of numbers we're dealing with. We'll figure out transportation over to the facility and get a neighborhood tour. October 16th, Thursday. Hopefully that date and time are correct on the calendar.
No, we're on October 7th.
5:30 in the parking lot here, we'd meet.
I think 7. We start. I don't know what time theirs is, but we start in the morning. Right.
Tom and Patty Bessler, and we decided the goals of you visiting for a normal inspection are kind of different than the tour. Although they do want to show you the operations while you're there that they're specifically referring to. But we kind of decided to separate the two after speaking to Tom, so.
And do we have times? I think John.
I sent you an email, yeah,
Oh.
with all the times for the gravel pit visits last week.
Okay.
Check your email. It's on Thursday, the 9th. 8, 9, 10, and 11 o'clock visits all morning. You are booked all morning, and your last stop will be Amrise.
Very good.
So
sounds like a plan.
I had told Tom I have a list of a mailing address list for the whole township, but I don't know how it works, Carrie, when you do like a public hearing and you want to do like a scope of, what did you say, a half mile around?
think I had
the
a quarter
facility?
mile
Quarter
highlighted.
mile? Can you guide him into how to get addresses specific to a certain circumference?
Yeah. Well, I just wonder if we should go further out than a quarter mile. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? I think quarter mile is just the minimum radius.
Yeah,
But
that's the minimum for public hearings on variances and things of that nature. And maybe it is prudent to go a little further, because I mean, folks that live, a half mile or 3/4 mile might be interested in this. I mean, I would think it would be a little bit wider interest perhaps than just people a quarter mile away, but obviously it's Amrise's show, so you guys can decide what you want to do. But I do concur that I think maybe casting a little wider net might be appropriate in this. I think there's going to be interest on the part of people who are more than a quarter mile away from the pit.
Anyone in the township's invited, provided they RSVP.
Yeah.
I think, is the township willing to put an advertisement on the website on how to RSVP and when and where that the meeting will be?
Or maybe what we could do is put a link to you guys, and then you can handle the RSVPs and stuff instead of us handling that.
You would not handle the RSVP. It would be one posting on your website with RSVP here, and that would go to our internal thing, and you'd be off the hook after that. It would be one thing to just put it on the website.
We just provide a link to your website and then you handle the noise.
An email address, they're asking
Oh.
you to contact an email address.
Oh, okay, so we would say on a website, please email
Patty Bessler.
Amrise at this email address? Is that
Yes.
what you're suggesting?
If you'd
Yep.
like to attend.
And so we're interested, we're not trying to exclude anyone. Anyone's welcome. Mailings are kind of a pain. I don't even know if people read their mail necessarily. So we thought quarter mile hits the basics, and then that advertisement on the website would be enough to get everybody else.
You know, I mean, if you want to limit it to a quarter mile, that's your thing. And so I would say, yeah, I think we could put an email address on our website, say, please email these folks at this email address if you're interested or whatever.
If you can also just provide the verbiage that you want on the website, which should be something accompanying that email address.
Yep.
I mean, you know, the thing is, I mean, I assume you're doing this because you want folks to see how benign the operation is. And so the wider net you cast, the more people you will hit, you know, the more people will get to see the benign nature of the operation. But once again, it is your call, because it's your tour. So,
Yeah. So what are you suggesting?
well, I don't know, I'm just saying, you could consider going more than a quarter mile with the invitation, because I assume there are gonna be people that live, you know, I don't know where, I mean, not necessarily that close to the pit, who might be interested in seeing this operation and seeing what kind of noise it creates, dust and all the rest of it, you know.
Or lack thereof.
Or lack thereof, yeah.
So, okay, I will take into consideration whether we go half or quarter. I guess I haven't made up my mind.
Sure, that's fine, that's
I'll
yours
take
to
it.
decide, it's yours to decide.
But we'll handle that, provided you guys can help us with that mailing list.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, and I need to provide you some verbiage for the website posting, with the understanding that we're handling all the RSVPs, and once you post that, it's no work for you guys.
Yep.
So
Perfect.
looking forward to having people out and seeing what we do. So
All right.
thanks.
All right, thanks.
Thanks for coming, appreciate it. All right.
Okay.
Make that short.
Well, yeah. Well, he wasn't on the agenda. So.
Oh.
It's all.
Okay, so let's see, any other old or new business that we need to discuss? Moment? If not, let's open it to public comment. We have a 3-minute limit on public comment. If anybody would like to get up and make a comment. Okay, good. Always nice to hear from you.
First of all, I do want to comment that the work on Nolan and Neil has really made the roads much better. However, there's an area on Nolan right around the Greenwood Trail. You know, there's a U-shaped thing that is like a washboard. And I don't feel it when I'm driving my vehicle, but when I'm driving my truck with my horse trailer and I'm going down Nolan and I hit that spot right around Greenwood Trail between the two entrances to Greenwood Trail, that thing goes like this, and I feel sorry for my horse in the trailer. So I understand it's a brand new road, and I would not have expected that on a brand new road. So I don't know if you've had feedback from other people, Chad, but it is not in good shape when you have a truck that's meant for hauling and it's boom, 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 boom with the horse trailer behind it. So that was my comment, but the rest of the road and Neil has been really wonderful to drive down.
And
My
so
only
I think the final lift, the final lift, the wear course, whatever, has not been applied yet, if I'm not correct about that, I think.
That's correct.
And these issues are going to be dealt with and I think corrected when that happens.
Okay.
But I should ask Chad, are you aware of the stretch she's talking about between Greenwood, the two Greenwood Trail entrances?
I'm aware, maybe not exactly, so we can talk, but I'm aware of the issue from 10th to 30th on Neil Nolan 20th. And from a couple different capacities, and the construction teams kind of marked out areas for different types of ways the contractor has to address it moving forward before the final lift. To
Okay,
hopefully
I
provide
also want to make sure that
Mhm.
We're not paying for a new road and that's what we're paying for is that it's like a washboard around that area. And now
So-
we just have to control people going down Neil Avenue at 60 miles an hour because the road's so nice. So
Yeah.
I can't help with speed, but.
I know that and I'm not really complaining, but it's like it's noticeably faster traffic on the road now that it's been nice. So that's the downside of it, but it's very nice to have the road overall done. And you said that there's another layer going on top
Yep.
then, Chad. Okay. All right. I just want to make sure somebody was aware so that we're getting a good road for what we're paying for.
Absolutely.
And Betsy, I guess I didn't say my name and address. Do you need that? Okay.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Marion. Any other public comment? Anybody else want to make a comment about anything about the township? If not, I think we have an opportunity to adjourn prior to 9 p.m.
I'll second
Which is, and I'll move that we adjourn, and you're seconding that. All those in favor of adjournment, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Okay, so we're adjourned.